Good morning, madam. Evening. Please, I'll make you the host. Kindly make me a co-host. Thank you.
Hello? Okay. Tell them say they come with she's Dr. Paco. If they reception, they come down, they come. Then when you carry bag.
Good morning, Mr. Ijeta.
Which meeting be this one? I don't understand. So this one never give us.
You leave your phone.
Bom. Wait, Marco, what is it?
I want the food, this
Okay.
now.
What name?
Hi, Hania. Can we start this session? Hania.
Bro, for plenty, yeah, they see some girls, like seriously, what's in the chop now? I think that. Yeah, that this thing. Oh, shit. Yeah, meat market for your hand. Maybe you don't, okay, that means you don't obtain and be, yeah, so they never. Okay, we see on Saturday. Wow. Hmm. You can see my bike there for talk more even wetin you dey find for there? Wetin you wan find for that?
They are waiting. Okay. Okay, oh, Lord help me. I didn't prepare for this one. Oh. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Cyber Safe Future webinar. Please, I just want us to confirm that you can hear me by wave of hand emoji. Oh, great, 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 great. So my name is Haniel H. Jafaru, and I'm just going to do a quick introduction of the organization, Kachim. Please confirm that you can hear me. Please confirm
Yeah, we
that.
are just I can just hear you.
Uh,
We are just hearing you.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much. Yeah. So this is the Cyber Safe Future webinar, and it's been organized by Kachim Education Initiative. So I'm going to be doing a quick assignment this morning by giving us a quick introduction of some of the team members of Kachim Education Initiative, starting with Evelyn, Miss Evelyn Achudume, sorry. Miss Evelyn Achudume is a cybersecurity and an AI enthusiast. She's also an operational member of the Economy and Financial Crimes Commission. That's the EFCC. She's a member of Nigerian Computer Society, NCF, and has been quite active in promoting advocacy as long as cybersecurity is concerned. So that's Miss Evelyn Achudume, sorry, I beg your pardon. Then we have Mr. Kido Mohaye, who is the Director of Finance of the CASIA. CASIA is generally an NGO, that's why it's called Kachim Education Initiative. Is an NGO that helps in breeding the next generation of cybersecurity professionals and ensuring that they advocate for cybersecurity policies. So Mr. Kido is the Director of Finance, and he's from Koko local government, or he's from Koko local government in Delta State, and he has largely fought against unemployment. And one of the ways to fight that is by creating this NGO. So he's among the founding members of the NGO. Through the NGO, Mr. Diko has largely organized training and placement for over 300 members of the public from 2007. So it has been existing since then. Then we have Mr. Jude Aigbogun. Mr. Jude Aigbogun is the one in charge of largely Director of Operations, so he's largely in charge of ensuring that every details, as long as the NGO is concerned, how we operate, how we manage our project, he is largely concerned. So then we have Mr. Chinezurum Udumele. Mr. Chinezurum Udumele is the Director of Innovation. So most of the innovations that we'll be seeing from now henceforth is largely going to be more of like the brainchild of Mr. Chinezurum. He's the Director of Innovation under the Kachim Education Initiative. So those are largely some of all the directors in the NGO Kachim Education Initiative. So I'll be giving them a couple of minutes, let's say 2 minutes, 3 minutes each, for them to just give us a general overview of what the NGO does and all the necessary information we need to know. In fact, there's a major award that we are working on come next year, and it's something quite enlightening, and it's going to be quite educative, and want to see how to identify people who has largely driven the growth of cybersecurity within the country, and also give them some level of award and appreciation, giving them the accolade that they deserve. So some of these things are things that are on the pipeline. So I'll just give, starting with Mr. Kido, if he's here, 2-3 minutes, just give us a recap or a summary of the whole concept of the Kachim Education Initiative. Then we'll go to from Mr. Kido, then we'll go to Mr. Jude, then Mr. Chinazurum, and Miss Evelyn. All right, Mr. Kido, are you on? Please, if you are, please.
Yes,
over
I'm
to
here. I'm here. Good morning, everyone. My name is
Please go ahead, we can hear you. Mr. Kido, can you? All right, so it seems he's having issues with his network, so maybe we would want to go to Mr. Mr. Jude, pending when Mr. Kido resolves his network issues. Mr. Jude, please, are you here?
Yes, Mr. Jude is here.
Yeah, good morning. Thank you for
Okay, good morning. Jude, please, you can just give us a brief overview of the NGO from your perspective and from your end.
Okay. Jude Aigogun. So the operation of Kashi origin. So I want to use this opportunity to say the first essence is of the event today is to flag off the physical event coming up in the first quarters of next year, 2026. And while the second one is also to have an...
Hello, everyone. I'm back. Sorry for the little network glitch.
Okay, Mr. Kido, just hold on, please.
Okay.
Just hold on, please. Mr. Jude is with the mic, so once he's done, you can just step in. Thank you.
Okay, that's fine.
All right,
Mr. Jude, please go ahead, please.
Okay, just as I said, the first one is an essence of this event today is to flag up the physical events coming up in the first quarter of the next year, 2026. And the second one is also to have the hackathon and which software developer will be showcasing their innovation for us to buy. While the third one is, it is not just a new innovation, even softwares and applications you think we should provide solutions can be brought to us to develop before the event day. This will be a test on that day. Thank you very much. I believe we have heard.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jude. Okay, Mr. Kido, please, if you can please quickly give us an overview of the NGO from your perspective as a director of finance.
Okay, good morning, everyone. My name is Kido Chukwu Mohanye. I'm the director of finance at Keisa-Confident. So basically, Keisa-Confident was founded in 2007. What the whole objective surrounding Keisa-Confident is to drive digital training to impact the youth with the current skills that are needed to get them employed. There's a very large number of unemployed youths across Nigeria, and we hope to close that gap by empowering youths with digital trainings, especially in the cybersecurity and security sector in general. So we've been conducting training since 2007, and we've been able to train over 300 persons across the country on digital skills in particular. Sorry, Mr. Haniel, I have to chip this in. My local government, I believe you had a problem with the pronunciation. So just for the records, I'm from Idumujuno in Anyocha North local government area in Delta State. You've basically introduced everyone. But generally, that is what KISA does. We train both youths and older persons. We train them, we equip them with skills, mainly digital skills, cybersecurity, and all of that. The cyber world in general is pretty unsafe, and the world is revolving. We talk about we train on artificial intelligence as well, and just general internet security. So this today's today's conference is mainly to bring everyone together, everyone in the industry, to come together and join us to combat insecurity in general. So we'll be having the official program, that's Cyber Safe Hackathon event, within the first quarter of next year. Just like my colleague said, Engineer Jude, we'll be having the main major event next year, where there will be people showcasing their skills, their products, and their services at the event. And it basically is a hackathon. So we also advocate for ethical hacking, so which basically means hacking in the right, hacking, for good, basically. So, this is what KISA Foundation is about. We all know it's an NGO. We welcome all partners, everyone that is here. You're welcome, and please, as the program goes on, we might be having some network glitches, but feel free to drop a message and ask your questions for any other clarifications you may need. But at this time, just know that KISA Foundation is all about reducing the number of unemployed youths and youths who are into unethical hacking and doing the wrong things on the internet. So we're trying to give them, we're trying to retrain them and equip them with new skills that will help them to be employable and also be employers of labor. Thank you so much.
So much. Thank you so much. Mr. Kido, thank you so much. So let's quickly just give Mr. Chinezurum, the Director of Innovation, a few minutes to give us a perspective of the NGO.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yeah, good morning.
Okay, thank you. My name is Chinezurum Prince Ndumele, and I'm happy to be in the midst of all of us here for this prelude for a hackathon, for this webinar prelude. I'm grateful to our
Sorry,
partners.
Mr. Chinezurum, if you can speak to your mic, please, so that it's loud enough.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, better.
All right, thank you. We are grateful to our partners for partnering with us to make this event a reality, and we look forward to the much talked about physical hackathon event that is planned for the first quarter of next year, 2026. Then, as the Director of Innovation for Kisango, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. If you can just be a little bit louder.
Okay, thank you. So I would want to give you my view of Kisango and what we intend to achieve. The previous speakers have touched more on what we've been able to achieve over the years. So I want to talk about what we look forward to and how we envisage the future for Kisango and the Nigerian youth to look like. So first, we are pleased to actually announce our upcoming cybersecurity hackathon and innovation awards, which you talked about, Mr. Hanel, scheduled to take place in the first quarter of next year, hopefully by God's grace. And this initiative is designed to actually harness the creativity and technical capacity of young Nigerians and innovators, aimed at addressing real-world digital and cybersecurity challenges faced by individuals and organizations. So as part of this program, we invite the organizations here present and the organizations yet to join us to submit applications, software concepts, digital platforms, or operational challenges that they would like to partner with us for development, design or redesigning or hardening. When I say hardening, the cybersecurity world, it means strengthening, like to add strength to it. So to strengthen it from a security perspective, and these ideas will be carefully assigned to our partners, and they will be looked into intensively to make sure that you get the best. So, and what your organization will gain from these innovative partnerships one, you will get custom.
Someone speaking here. The volume was very.
Okay, sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you. Please.
Okay, so your organization stands to gain custom built or improved digital solutions aligned with your operational needs and security requirements, early integration of cybersecurity best practices, including secure designs, data protection, risk awareness, etc. You will also be exposed to fresh and innovative approaches driven by young and highly motivated talents with technical backgrounds. These will also be cost effective with a structured, time-bound environment for innovation. And would also add increased visibility and recognition through the hackathon showcase and award ceremony planned for first quarter of next year. And our commitment to you is that when we are partnered with, we will collaboratively work with you, and we will aim to deliver functional designs, concepts, and technical expertise to aid you and your organizations to achieve your objectives and be the best. Thank you so much.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Chukwu.
Chinazurum,
I beg your pardon. Chinazurum, I beg your pardon. Sorry. So I would want to call on Evelyn before I introduce our first speaker and moderator for the first session that we'll be having. Miss Evelyn.
Yes, sir.
Please, you have a few minutes to give us your brief.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for participating, for attending. Sit down, Oga. All of us are here. That's Mr. Samin. He's with us. So today is a great day for KISA NGO, and it's a day that we'll thank God for bringing us all together. We initially planned for physical, but we said, okay, the 3rd was supposed to be physical, 3rd of December. But from the look of things, it's a December time and everybody's going on leave, everybody's winding down. So we now look at it and say, okay, let's do something virtual, which was a great idea from one of our speakers. I said, let us not just go like that. So we now pushed it a little further to 17th, which is today, the blessed day. So that's why we are all here today to kick off the hackathon event. This is going to be a hackathon event. It's going to be a competition, because over the years, we've discovered that when we have hackathon events, at the end of the event, we do awards, and every professional, every student go back to status quo. This is not going to be the same way. So we wanted a time where after hackathon events, we now check the skill gap. We now repurpose some of the skills that will be discovered, and the ones that we lack, that we can now carry on training. That's why the NGO staffs encouraged us to say, okay, we are ready to harness organizations that have need for applications of softwares, so that when the NGO receives such softwares, they can use it for a hackathon competition and have something like a pitchathon, where the organization that requested for the application will be present to see a presentation of what they requested for in a competition style. You have 3 or 4 hackathon professionals who are competing to bring the best, and they will choose if one meets their need. That is the main essence of the whole thing. But we're going to do more, because it's a thing that all of us have to join hands together to curb this menace of cyber security. So this is the short one I can say for now. So Hannah, you can carry on. I appreciate everyone.
Thank you.
Our big ones, our iconic ladies. You are welcome on board. Thank you so much. I appreciate everyone. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Miss Evelyn Chudume, for that good remarks. And so moving forward with the program, we'll be looking at we'll be calling on the first speaker and moderator for the next section of the program, which is Mr. Ayodeji Rex Abitogun. So Mr. Rex is not a scarce figure when it has to do with technology in this country. He is a recognized leader and an advocate of technology, entrepreneurship, and sustainable digital transformation. In fact, Mr. Rex is the lead consultant and the chief executive officer of Management Edge. So if you have at one point in time carried out a certification exam, be it CompTIA, be it Easy Council, and it was via a person virtual center, you may at one point or the other find yourself in Management Edge, which is one of the organizations that conduct certification exams for international certification bodies. So Management Edge doesn't just do that. They are also a tech consulting firm that assists individual, government, and organizations to carry out sustainable digital transformation. So Mr. Rex has over 2 decades of experience in the information technology industry, and he has distinguished himself as a leader of diverse teams that delivers major IT projects for government and private organizations, both within and outside the country. He has adequate experience in data governance and management, IT service delivery, project management, new product development, and business sustainability strategy. Well, this is quite an applaudable resume that we have, and Mr. Rex would be taking on the floor now to give us to make his own presentation, and also championing the next and also moderating the next session. Please, we can use the clap emoji to welcome Mr. Rex to the mic. Mr. Rex, over to you.
Okay, thank you very much, Anya. It's good to be here, and I must commend the organizers of this event for putting this together. I know that for this session, we have a couple of persons that we need to recognize, and I'd like to start with the keynote speaker for today's event. She's not just a keynote speaker, she is an icon that at any point that you run to her, you can be sure of getting your problem solved. She is a well-known not just in the academic environment, but in the IT space. And she's one of the foremost, possibly the second woman in Nigeria to earn PhD in computer science. And she is the Vice Chancellor of University of Delta. She is our keynote speaker for this event, and she has a lot to share with us. With your emoji, please, let's quickly welcome Professor Stella Chiemeke, fellow Nigeria Computer Society, to our midst.
Thank you very much, Rex.
You're welcome.
For the benefit of those that do not know Professor Stella Chiemeke, let me show my face briefly. Compliment of the season to everyone.
Good. Oh, you can see she's in Christmas mood already.
Yes, already.
Okay, so Professor Chiemeke has a lot to give to us. And I know her for one thing that if you give her all the day, you will always have a very refreshing moment. She's someone that presents her lecture as if you are taking a cup of tea. So if you're not mindful of time, you may get carried away. So we thank you for being with us, Ma. And
Thank you so much. Thank you, Rex.
we're going to get to know her more in the course of our presentation. Quickly, I'd like to recognize someone. I know she's part of the panelists, but I just need to give her a special recognition. And that is the president of Nigeria Women in Information Technology, Dr. Kemi Ayodele. She's in the house. I can see her. Yes, Dr. Kemi, that's the president of NIWIT, Nigeria Women in Information Technology.
Good morning, everybody. It's nice to be here. Thank you, Mr. Rex. And good morning, my role model, my mentor, the Vice Chancellor.
Good morning.
Good morning, ma. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, my
Good morning.
president.
Thank you. Nice day.
Okay, quickly, I would like to set the context of the presentation and eventually bring in the keynote speaker to deliver a keynote speech. Thereafter, we'll move to the panel session, which will be moderated by Evelyn. And just to set the context, I know a couple of people will be wondering who is this person talking. So let me show my face. Okay, so let me share my screen just for us to set the tone of this discussion. Please confirm you can see my screen. Okay, so when we talk about cyber safe future, we're talking about building a cyberspace that you and I, our children, the future generation can be proud of, can operate in. So, and I look at it from citizens as well as institution perspective. We'll be looking at trust, we'll be looking at awareness and responsibility of citizens as well as institutions. Mine is just to set the tone. I'll try as much as possible to be brief, and I'll leave the main discussion or the main agenda for Professor Chiemeke to dissect. Quickly, we'll look at it from, this is what we'll be looking at: human factor, institutional role, and what we need to do in terms of awareness and responsibility from everybody in the house. IBM research put data breach to cost about $4.4 million. That's huge in terms of money. And 87% of consumers will disengage from organizations that they do not trust. So this lays the foundation for trust when you talk about cyber safe features. Once a trust is lost, it's going to be very difficult for you to have any engagement. Trust is the foundation of any business or every business transaction. Trust is what set the tone for sustainability. Trust is what set the tone for fruitful engagement. So why cyber safe future matter? Digital services now underpin governance, finance, education, health, name it. The way we live, the way we do things, everything has been shaped by latest developments in the IT space, and which means that we need to redefine our approach in terms of how people handles data. And of course, at the center of this whole thing is people, how we handle data and how we build trust. So in other words, we're not just looking at the technical part. It is no longer an IT department thing. Cybersecurity, cyber safety is everybody's responsibility. If that gate man does not understand what cybersecurity is about, he or she will expose the data collected at the gate, and anything can happen to that data. So it means that we need to look beyond just the technical people. We need to look at the role of individuals in building cyber safe futures. And also we need to look at the role of the society as well as institutional responsibility in terms of building a cyber safe futures. Human factor is equally very, very important. And this will raise the issue of when the man that is entrusted with our data fail to handle things well. You find out that what will happen in that is that definitely there will be breach and there will be system failure. And when there's system failure, it creates a big problem. So cyber safety starts with individual awareness, which means that at individual level, we need to create awareness, as well as organizational level. Every organization must take it as a duty to continue to create awareness, because when you have that awareness well disseminated, definitely people's behavior will change. People's digital behavior will change, and they can equally secure their organization. We look at institutional responsibility gap. According to the World Economic Forum, over 70% of organizations acknowledge rising cyber risk. Every time we attack in one way or the other, either you attack as an individual working in an organization, or a whole organization is get attacked. So yet, less than 40% believe they are adequately prepared. So the question is, if you ask all of us in this house, how prepared are you for the next cyber attack that may hit your organization? I'm sure a lot of us will say, well, I know about cybersecurity, but it's beyond that. It is actually about, if you are safe, the next person behind you, does he understand the tips? Does he understand what it means to prevent a cyber attack? So nearly 90% of organizations lack mature cybersecurity capabilities. So awareness without institutional action creates a false sense of security. Today we talk about digital transformation. We have the digital bill that is pending before the National Assembly. There's a public presentation on that bill in the last, I think 3 or 4 weeks ago. We have Cybercrime Act of 2015, which also a lot of stakeholders are equally talking about revisiting that act. We have the Nigeria Data Protection Act, okay, which was instituted on June 12, 2023. I think that's one of the bill that we got presidential signature at the earlier part of this administration. But beyond having all these laws, all right, if trust is missing, definitely is going to be a very big challenge. So trust is the currency of the digital economy, and all of us must take it as a duty in terms of ensuring a sustainable digital transformation. So, and I've talked about this at different events, that we shouldn't just talk about digitization or digitalization or digital transformation. The sustainability of this is very, very important. And I'm sure these are part of the things that we'll also be dissecting as we proceed on this session. So what is expected of us is that beyond awareness, we need to take responsibility for our actions. One-off awareness campaign is not good enough. The Nigeria Data Protection Act talk about annual audit filing. However, you find out that a lot of organizations, after the first time they register with the commission, a lot of them still find it difficult to see it that it's a culture. It is not something that it's not a one-off thing. So we need to institutions need to take responsibility and understand that it is a continuous thing. Just the way you continuously improve on your look, the way you continuously improve on your environment, you must continuously improve on your behavior in the digital space. You must continuously build a culture that protects data and secure the cyberspace within your organization. At the leadership desk or at the boardroom, there must be adequate awareness. So it's high time that we look away from just saying, oh, where we have the IT people that will take care of cyber issues. No, it is a governance issue, and we must take responsibility for ensuring that there's governance and control within our organizations to promote resilience and trust within the organization. So in conclusion, we will talk about shared responsibility. Citizens must be aware and vigilant. Institutions must be accountable and compliant. Trust must be taken as a essential component in terms of sustainable digital future. Cyber-safe futures will only emerge when awareness becomes habit and responsibility becomes our culture and trust becomes our policy. And I end with this closing statement. When over 70% of cyber incidents involve human behavior, and when millions of naira and public trust are lost after every major breach, it becomes clear that cyber-safe futures will only be achieved when citizens are aware, institutions are responsible, and trust becomes a strategic priority. So with this, having set the tone of this discussion, I will now invite my mentor, my leader, an iconic woman, and a woman of many caps, a woman at time will not allow me to read her CV because I have about 3-page document here. So let me save that for another day, while I invite Professor Mrs. Stella Chiemeke, fellow Nigeria Computer Society, to take us on the keynote address for this webinar. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rex, for that beautiful presentation and for kickstarting in that light. So let me, first of all, share my slide so that we can we see that?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Are we all seeing the slide?
Yes.
Okay. So let me appreciate Evelyn for this opportunity that she has given me to be part of this gathering today, and to also congratulate Evelyn and her team for this conference. I'll start by first of all saying my name is Professor Stella Chiemeke, the Vice Chancellor of University of Delta, Agbo. And among those that are present here today, I'm sure that the Dean Faculty of Computing of University of Delta and her team and his team will also be around. University of Delta, Agbo, is just barely 4.5 years old. And recently, University of Delta has been on the global space in terms of ranking, and we give God all the glory. Recently, we just, well, it was announced that Unidel came third in the UI Green Metric World University ranking, and we thank God for that. And in University of Delta, we have a cybersecurity department. And the good thing is that NUC have integrated all these that cybersecurity as a course of study in all universities. So this particular conference is a welcome development where we're talking about cyber safe futures. And so I titled this presentation as Safeguarding Nigeria's Growth in an Era of Digital Acceleration. And this is my table of content. I will just try and be brief in the presentation and just pinpoint the key points in the keynotes. Distinguished colleagues, participants, ladies and gentlemen, if we take a look at the statistics of 2024, though Rex has given us some of those statistics, ICT sector has accounted to about 16% of Nigerian GDP. And that is now establishing that it is one of the strongest drivers of national economic growth, productivity, and innovation. And also with over 140 million Nigerians that are actively connected, cyber safe, the cyberspace has become a critical national asset rather than a peripheral enabler. So the digital platforms now mediate how citizens access services, conduct our businesses, and then interact with government. So the Nigerian digital infrastructure underpins key sectors including governance, finance, healthcare, education, commerce, making digital systems central to everyday life and economic activity, as had been stated by Rex. And if we take a look at what happens when the digital growth outruns security, we'll find out that as more services move online, the attack surface widens faster than defensive capacity. So we'll see that the digital platform that drive inclusion and efficiency are now increasingly being exploited by organized cyber criminal networks, eroding confidence in online transaction and public digital services. So we found out that the risk cut across all sectors. And we also have that the weak enforcement, under-reporting of breaches. That is one of the major problems that we have in Nigeria, under-reporting of breaches, and uneven cybersecurity investment have created gaps between the digital ambition and digital protection. So my key point is that digital scale without cybersecurity turns opportunity into systemic risk. Now, this keynote is divided into 6 different parts to examine how Nigeria can transition decisively from into a secure, trusted, and resilient digital economy. And so we'll be looking at the strength and the gaps in Nigeria's current cybersecurity system, data protection, the technical foundation, including prevention, the role of digital trust. I will just skip some of them because Rex has mentioned trust per se. So, but what goes wrong in terms of data? If you take a look at the global cyber risk, let's look at the big picture. We found out that $9 trillion was spent in 2024. Global cybersecurity risk was estimated to be that, making cybercrime one of the largest economic threats worldwide, surpassing the GDP of some other countries. And we're also told that the average global cost of a data breach exceeded $4.4 million between 2023 and 2024. And more than 70% of organizations globally reported at least one material cyber incident in the past 12 months, with increasing use of artificial intelligence-enabled attacks, deepfakes, and automated malware. If you now come to Nigeria, you'll find out that Nigeria consistently ranks among the top sources and targets of cybercrime globally, according to the Interpol report and global security reports reflecting both high digital adoption and enforcement gaps. And also the EFCC and industry studies also estimates that Nigeria loses hundreds of millions of dollars annually to cybercrime, particularly through online fraud, identity theft, and financial scam. So, but why does these statistics matter? You find out that the cybercrime statistics shows that the digital threat now pose material economic risk with direct implication for national growth and stability. And also, the frequency and cost of cyber incident demonstrate that cyber risk is systemic, predictable, and no longer exceptional. And also, Nigerians' rapid digital expansion has outpaced cybersecurity maturity, increasing exposure across public and private sector. And underreporting of these breaches weaken institutional learning and delays in response, and it also erodes accountability and public trust. So if we take a look at in Nigeria, the cyber governance framework, we all know the three different categories where we have the core legal. Sorry. Where we have the core legal instruments, the lead institutions, that is the NIDA, MPDC, and then Office of the National Advisor, National Security Advisor, and then of course the sector regulators, the CBN, the NCC, and other sector regulators. Now, if this framework exists, why then we still have risk? So we find out that Nigerian cyber risk is not driven by policy absence, but by gaps between the intent, the enforcement, and execution. So some implementation gaps are highlighted here. For example, the uneven enforcement of existing laws. Yes, we have a lot of laws that are existing, policies are there, but how intentional are we when it comes to implementation of all these laws? Then secondly, delayed designation and protection of critical information infrastructure, limiting proactive defense of national digital assets. 3, the underreporting of cyber incidents and data breaches, particularly within the public institutions. Then the fragmented institutional coordination resulting in overlapping mandates, slow response time, and inconsistent regulatory oversight. And finally, the limited technical and human capacity within many MDAs. So, but what must change to make cyber governance work? So one of it is that we must shift from rulemaking to enforcement. It is good to give all the rules and all the policies laid down. We must start enforcing some of all this to ensure that the existing cyber and data protection laws are consistently applied across all sectors, not just for some designated companies. If these laws are to be enforced, it must be all around public and private institutions. Then secondly, we must normalize incident reporting and disclosure supported by incentives, protections, and clear regulatory guidance. We must strengthen institutional coordination with clearer rules. We must also invest in technical capacity and skills, enabling the MDAs and regulated entities to meet compliance and response obligations. We must prioritize protection of critical digital infrastructures, and then we must embed cybersecurity into leadership and governance. My thesis: what if we treated cybersecurity like power or transport? For that to happen, we must recognize cyberspace as critical national infrastructure, requiring sustained public investment, strategic oversight, and long-term planning. We must also centralize threat intelligence and coordination through a properly guided resource national document, working alongside with the SCIRT, which is the sectorial computer security incident report teams. We must integrate cybersecurity into our national development and digital economy strategies. And we must also measure resilience, not just compliance. We must measure resilience. The issue is, who now is accountable for Nigerian cyber resilience? The federal executive and national security architecture, they are to provide strategic leadership and funding. Then we have the NIDA, who sets the standard, enforce compliance, and coordinate national cyber response and oversee data protection obligation. We also have the CBN that issued the sector-specific cybersecurity rule, supervise regulated entities and enforce the incident reporting requirements. But then we also have the public institution and the ministry, departments, and agency. They design secure systems and report cyber incidents. Then we also have the private sector operators and digital service providers. They embed security by design, invest in cyber resilience, and disclosure incidents. They disclose incidents responsibly. And of course, the academia and the training institution where our university belongs is to now develop cybersecurity skills, conduct applied research, and supply the national cyber workforce. In the University of Delta Cybersecurity Department, they are doing so well to ensure that our students are also not just paper theory all through, they must also practicalize what all that is all about. And then ensuring that during their CWES, they are taken into any of those industries where they can learn about the skill properly. So cyber resilience fails when responsibility is shared, but accountability is unclear. In conclusion, I will say the Nigerian digital economy has crossed a point of no return. Cybersecurity is now foundational to growth, to governance, and national resilience. And secondly, strong laws and frameworks, they already exist. But what is now required is that we must be intentional, we must be disciplined in implementation and coordination, and of course, leadership. And finally, with decisive and collective action, Nigerians can secure trust. Nigerians can protect innovation, and we can also attract investment. So a cyber-safe future is not optional. It is now a strategic necessity. With that, I want to end by saying cybersecurity is no longer about defending systems. It is about defending trust, sovereignty, and the future of growth. Thank you very much for listening.
Excellent, excellent. Using your emoji, can we have those claps coming up? Yeah, keep them coming, keep them coming, keep them coming. Like I told you earlier on that our keynote speaker is epitome of knowledge, and anytime, any day, you can be sure of getting the best from her. And she has put some things on table for this conversation to set the tone. And key issues that he mentioned is, what if we treat our cyber what we treat cyber security as national asset? The priority we'll give to energy. Can we give it to IT? Can we give it to cyber security? And that's a very, very important important submission from our thesis. But beyond that also is that it talked about things that must change if governance must work. And she talked about the shift from rulemaking to enforcement, and not to be selective in terms of our enforcement. What applies to small organizations must apply to big organizations if we want to really if we really want to progress. Then she talked about strengthening institutional coordination. Today, part of the challenge that we face is in who is responsible for management of the cyberspace. There must be deliberate action from the leadership of our institutions to have interagency collaboration. She talked about prioritizing protection and critical digital infrastructure. I know that sometimes, was it early this year? Yes, there's a move by the government to now designate information assets as critical national infrastructure, which means that there will be adequate backing, and anybody that tamper with those national assets will definitely will suffer government wrath. So she has raised vital points here, but I know that we need to make some contribution. We will have questions. So I will allow for our audience to ask their questions, and thereafter we'll move to the panel session. Questions. If you have questions, you can indicate by show of hand. Questions, comments? Yes, Olusegun Adeyemo, please unmute your mic.
Good afternoon, good evening. Good afternoon, yes. We're still in the afternoon here.
Tell us your name, where you from, your organization.
I'm Olusegun Adeyemo. I'm from Oyo State, Nigeria. Precisely reside in Ibadan, working with Oyo State Judiciary as the head of ICT, designated by the principal analyst. Well, I'm also a cyber analyst. I have my CC and some other certifications, still upskilling myself in the field. I want to say kudos to the prof for the sensitizations and the presentations. It's actually the presentations of time.
Thank you.
And my angle comes in two ways: contribute, also think along with this concept of the NGO. She has already advocated for it. I don't need to add to it. But I'm looking for a way, even the government doesn't put it up in these pleasant situations we find ourselves. Having these synergy collaborations and then continuous efforts that both the NGO, individual groups are putting on. I think if you continue promoting it, it's going to be a laudable. You know, one of the things that we actually have a deficit of, permit me to use that word, I don't think is publicity, sensitizations, which we have actually making it a point of duty coming from the angle of the cybersecurity. Most times when the issue of the CBN said, the cyber issue that they have is inside, which is primary core for some of us that have been taking the route. Like in Mahade, they said, if the insect inside is not biting, there's no way the insect outside will rotate, which is actually true. But when we begin to sensitize and put in a lot of framework, having it in a way that's going to be centralized, I think is going to help us to go far in keeping our both digital assets, both our own footprint and some other things that have been a kind of being a challenge to our security. Yes, I want to see it in this way. The security challenges we have in physical, it has always been going downstream now to the cyber world. We all know our physical security is being challenged. And if you don't take it up like the way some of the NGO advocacy, to be sincere, I have to take another course of making up, I have another degree now in cybersecurity because I want to root it. I mean, my first degree in another field as an electrical engineer. So we need to take
your point,
it up.
sir,
Thank you so much.
Your point is that we must strengthen awareness, right?
Great.
And
be involved.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, do we have any other question or comments? Question or comments? Please feel free to ask your question. Our professor is very friendly. She's not going to penalize you even if you ask the wrong question. so don't say, what question am I going to ask this professor? Professor Chiemeke is always at home with any question you have.
Thank you.
Okay. So maybe you want to add to that comment, Ma, from Mr. Adebayo.
Okay, thank you very much. He mentioned something about collaboration.
Yeah.
Collaboration extends beyond Nigeria. So we must also work with the global partners on cyber norms. So if we also tap into those global initiatives, that can also help us. And then let me put it on record that NIDA as an institution have been trying so well in terms of advocacy. They've been running a lot of programs that is really helping the youth to know about cybersecurity, about artificial intelligence, and so on and so forth. Yes, we can do more. We can do more to ensure that we also, in our own institutions, also let the awareness be there as regards the cyberspace, the cyber security, and of course the security of our infrastructure and so on. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you very much, Ma. Thank you very much. I know you are very busy. I know you have a lot of things on your desk, but it will be good for you to be with us till the end of the next session, which is the panel session.
Correct. Okay, all right. Correct.
So that in case there's anything that requires some sort of leadership insight, you can provide.
Okay, it's
So
okay.
we'll just beg for 1 hour more out of your time. All right, thank you
A
very
whole
much, everyone.
correct.
Ma?
So, a whole hour.
Okay, at least if we cannot get 1 hour, we can get 45 minutes.
All right, I'm with you.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Ma. All right, thank you, everyone. We keep the conversation going, and at this point, I will hand over to Evelyn for the panel session. We have a team of panelists from public, private institutions, from a regulator, from practitioners, and as well as from academia. So please feel free, grab water if you need to take water, while we'll roll to the next session where we'll have more conversation to what has been presented. Evelyn, over to you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Abitogun, the MD, CEO, founder of Management Edge. We really appreciate you today. Thank you so much. I won't take your time now. I'll just bring in Mother, our head, our president of the Women in Information Technology. Her name is Dr. Mrs. Ayodele Oluwakemi Shade. She has a PhD, FNCS, a fellow of Nigerian Computer Society. She's MCPN. Her topic is overwhelming, is building a cyber-safe generation. You know, when we talk about cybersecurity, we're always talking about community, group, just like a physical family. So a family is made up, the result of a family is a generation. So that's where she's coming in from. She's coming in from the mother side. A digital safety, that's our topic, digital safety, responsible online behavior, and the role of young women in tackling cybercrime. You know, to whom much is given, much is expected. So for us to avoid cybercrime, we must bring in cybersecurity awareness so that we don't jail all our youths and our young ones. So we are bringing her in to give us an insight on this. So Dr. Mrs. Ayodele Oluwakemi Shade, I humbly bring you in as one of the iconic women of Naiwit. Welcome, ma.
Thank you very much, Ma. Thank you, everybody. It's a privilege to be here this afternoon. Thank you very much. Can I continue, Ma?
Yes, ma'am. You've got
okay, thank you.
2 minutes, but I'll give you a little bit of
Okay.
5 minutes to roll around your questions. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you very much, Ma. It's a great pleasure to be here with this type of gathering of young minds have been introduced. And today my focus is on building a cyber-safe generation. And we are focusing on digital safety, responsible online behavior, and especially the important role young women can play in tackling cybercrime. So looking at it, this topic is very important. This area is very important because technology is now part of everything that we do. Learning, in communication, in business, in entertainment, and just so on. And how safely we use it to shape our future, which is very, very important. So that is what we are looking at this afternoon. So briefly, I will be looking at all these areas. Now, when you're talking about cyber safety matters now more than ever because we have so many young people that spend a lot of time online on social media, gambling, gaming platforms, learning platforms, even messaging apps. So, but unfortunately, cyber criminals also operate in these same spaces. So they target young people because they know youth. They are very curious, trusting, and sometimes unaware of digital risk. So cyber safety is therefore not just a technical issue, it is a life skill. So knowing how to protect yourself, knowing how to protect ourselves online is just as important as knowing how to protect yourself physically. So that is why cyber safety is very, very important. We have some common cyber threats that are affecting young people. For example, the phishing, which involve fake messages, and they are designed to trick you into revealing maybe your passwords or your personal information. So identity theft happens when someone uses your personal details to commit fraud. We have cyberbullying. Cyberbullying includes maybe harassment, threats, and humiliation online. And we have this online predator. They manipulate young people using fake identity. So we have also fake news and misinformation, which can mislead young men, young ladies, and influence their decisions. So all these threats, they are very, very real. They are around us. But the good news is that they are preventable with awareness and discipline. So they are very simple but powerful habits that one can adopt to stay safe online as young minds. Can use strong, I will be mentioning two of them. You can use maybe strong and unique password when you are online. Maybe using your digital devices, your laptop, your Android phones, and so on. So you use strong and unique password for your accounts, and you avoid using the same password everywhere. You see some people using the same password for their Facebook, the same for their Gmail, the same for their Yahoo and mail and so on, which is not too good. So we preach that use strong and unique password for your account, and you avoid using the same password everywhere. So, and another thing is that please try as much as possible to always enable two-factor authentication where possible. On your WhatsApp, you can do that. On Facebook, you can do that, and so on. So you have to be you have to be very careful with links and attachments, most especially from unknown sources. So you ensure your devices are regularly updated to fit security. Make sure that you have a very strong password. Apart from having a strong password, you make sure that you have antivirus on your laptop and so on. And you make sure that you keep on updating all of this, all of your apps that you make use of as young minds. So most importantly, you have to protect your personal information and think carefully about what you share online. I have a course and I'm lecturing the 200 level student, and that has to do with cyber security, something that has to do with cyber security and the AI. And we decided, okay, let us go online. Let us pick 2-3 of these apps that we can, AI tools and apps. Let us see what we can have there. We were picking names of students in my class, and they were so amazed that other people just typing in their name was giving their location, their parents' name, so many things that are just too personal to them. Their date of birth, their place of birth, everything about them. And that is one thing that we have to be very careful of. Protect your personal information and think carefully about what you share online. So digital safety is not only about protecting yourself, it is also about how you behave online, leading into responsible online behavior. So responsible online behavior means protecting others even when you disagree. So you think before you post, you think before you comment, you think before you share. Because once something is online, it can stay there forever. So verify information before you sharing it, so you do not spread false news. There are so many times that we go online and we just see a breaking news. At the end of those, you just notice they do not exist. They are nowhere to be found. So another thing is that try as much as possible to avoid cyberbullying in any form. And remember that your online action can have serious real life consequences. So as young women, I'm looking at women, as young women, why is it that we matter so much in cybersecurity? So I want to say, as the president of NITE, that this part is very important to me. Why young women matters in cybersecurity? We can see that from analysis, I don't have the time, women are still underrepresented in cybersecurity. Yet we have diversity, which makes cyber defense stronger. So as young women, as we bring strong analytical thinking, creativity, we look at, as women, a type of attention to details and empathy. We have all those skills. And all those skills are very valuable in cybersecurity. So when young girls see women in tech leadership, they believe they too can succeed. Like what my VC just presented, I always look onto her. When I see her and she's doing one presentation or the other, there's always this belief that I can get there too. So that is the place of mentorship. So encouraging girls into cyber security is not just about gender equality. It is about building stronger and safer digital system. Now I want us to look, because we are rushing, how young women can tackle cyber crime. How can we as young women, how can we tackle cyber crime? So young women can actively contribute to tackling cyber crime in many ways. They can start by learning basic cybersecurity skills and participating in hackathons, and that is what we are looking at. That is what this event is all about, like this one. So they can join tech clubs, coding clubs, and cybersecurity communities. So we believe that young men can also, young women, young ladies can also become cyber safety ambassadors in their schools and in their communities. Reporting online abuse, supporting victims, and mentoring peers. They are powerful ways to create safer digital spaces. So as NIWIT, that's Nigeria Women in Information Technology, we exist to support and empower women and girls in technology. We provide mentorship like our Mentor Connect, and there's one that is coming very, very soon. Like the training we usually have, advocacy and capacity building opportunities. So we work to ensure that girls have access to safe, inclusive, and supportive digital environment. So through NIWIT, that's Nigeria Women in Information Technology, young women can find guidance, they can find role models, and opportunity to even grow in cybersecurity and other IT fields. So what are we saying? What is the call to action? So what we are saying is that the challenge before us today is this, that I want to challenge each one of you here as young girls, as young women, as future leaders, that we have to be cyber aware. We have to understand the risk and stay informed. We have to be responsible online. Your action matters, and you have to support and encourage girls who show interest in technology. Why not visit your alma mater, your secondary school? Why not visit your primary school and lay foundation for future generations who can use technology ethically, not to harm anybody? And most importantly, we have to join hands together to fight against cybercrime. How? By being part of the solution. So I want, in conclusion, to say this morning that that a cyber-safe generation is one that is informed, responsible, and empowered. So when young people understand digital safety and they practice responsible online behavior, they protect not just themselves, but the entire society. So when young women are empowered to lead in cybersecurity, our communities become very safe, they become safer and stronger. So I want to conclude by saying that together we can build a cyber-safe Nigeria and a secure digital future. Thank you very much. God bless you all.
Thank you so much, man. We appreciate you. This is very, very informative. Dr. Mrs. Ayodele has brought our attention to knowing that cybersecurity is not just a technical thing, but a life skill. And her suggestion is that we should stay online safely. We should behave as if we are part of the solution. We should always be well informed. How do we get well informed? By attending this kind of webinars, not just selecting what you're going to listen to. But once you hear there's a webinar on cybersecurity, try and listen. It doesn't matter who is speaking. We get knowledge from everywhere because knowledge is not siloed. Knowledge is universal. Thank you so much, man. We appreciate you, man. Because of time.
Yes. There's a registry here.
Please, can you mute yourself, please? Because of time, we're not going to take questions right away. We're going to document all our questions. So we'll have time to send our questions at the end of the presentations because we have like a good number of presentations still coming on. Thank you. So at this moment, I'll be bringing in another.
You should come to the front now. Where is your number? Where is Uche? Where is the number? Okay, they are listening.
That's one moment.
Okay, can you
this person
call Uche for me? Uche! I can't make you tell and make you bring glass since that time.
Okay.
Please, can technical person mute this
Yes, I have. Thank you. So at this moment, I'll be bringing in a very special person in Nigerian Digital Identification for Development project. Her name is Ms. Chineye Chizia. She's a technical lead and a security architect. I'll just give you a little bit of her profile. She's an IT professional with over 20 years in information security, IT management, enterprise architecture, privacy, and compliance. As a cybersecurity thought leader in Nigeria, her profound knowledge has led to significant appointments, including a founding board membership on the Lagos State's Cybersecurity Board and a board role with the Institute of Information Protection and Privacy Africa. That's IIPPP. Chineye has been instrumental in shaping Nigeria's cyber landscape through her contributions to Nigeria's national cybersecurity policy and strategy documents and Nigeria's Data Protection Act. Ms. Chineye Chizia, we want to welcome you on board this time. Thank you for coming. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. It has been an interesting session listening to all the other speakers. Can you hear me, please? Yes. Thank you so much for the opportunity. This session is packed rich. The next session is supposed to speak on cyber. It's supposed to speak on creating sustainable collaborative structures around the goal of building cyber safe futures. And we've been hearing all the information around cybersecurity awareness, so it has been impactful. My job here is to introduce our speakers for this particular session, one on Click to Careers, Building Nigeria's Cyber Safe Futures Together. I'll introduce to you Miss Omomi Olumide Obidiran. Coincidentally, I know Mo from uni. So Mo, nice to see that you are here. She's the Executive Director, Collaborations Africa Limited, Director, Learning and Development, Tino Bafem. I didn't think I pronounced it right, but please forgive me. Services Limited. She's the Deputy Director General, Nigerian Association of Small Scale Industry. There's a lot about Wumi that you really need to know of. Like, she's out there as a development leader. She's helped the business ecosystem in Nigeria with a lot of strategies. All her roles and professional profiles have led her into the person that she is today. She's a multidisciplinary human and an industrial capacity ecosystem builder. Wumi Omo has done a lot for the ecosystem. She, in addition to all the work that she has done, she serves as a board member on Tino Bafem, did I get it right? Services Limited, which is a 37-year-old technical services firm that has supported Nigeria's industrial leaders in manufacturing, hospitality, and telecoms. Mo currently serves, I've mentioned that, as the Deputy Director of Nigerian Association of Small Scale. She's a technical committee member of the Organized Private Sector of Nigeria. She leads private sector advocacy, public sector engagement, trade facilitations, and bilateral policy and partnership work with agencies, including the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Trade and Investment, WIPO Nigeria, UNIDO, and there's a whole lot. We are proud and thankful that you have joined us here. I also like to introduce our next speaker, who will be speaking on the second topic at this segment. That topic is on navigating the digital world, your guide to cyber safe futures. I know we've been talking a lot about cyber safe futures, but this is someone, when they say Timber and Caliber, I'm actually proud to be introducing them. Mr. Shehu Salihu from ICPC, MNIM, MCA, MNCS, Team Lead Network and Communications, ICPC. He's the current Assistant Supervisor, ICT, overseeing the CSDP, NAC, and IPH team. He's ISOC and a fellow, is that IFE IAS?
Yes, it is.
Oh, IFE Institute of Advanced Studies.
Exactly.
So he's also someone that went to my school too. So it's a great IFE thing. All right. So I'm handing over back to you, Madam Evelyn. And thank you, everyone. Mo, it's so good to see you. Bye for now.
So, my lady, Miss Omowumi Olumide Obidiran, I'm humbled by your profile. So I would like you to tell us more about Association of Small Scale Industrialists in Nigeria, and let us know a little bit of what they're all about and how they are related to cybersecurity in 10 minutes. Thank you, ma'am.
Great. Thank you so much for having me. Can everybody hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Miss Evelyn. Thank you, Chine. It's so good to see you again. So it's like we have an IFE constellation here, and I just wanted to salute. Good afternoon again, everyone, and thank you again for having me. It's so important that we listened to the keynote address and some of the introductions that went before us. It will really spare me the ordeal of breaking things down, because I think right now we're pretty much all on the same page, and we can take off right where I am concerned, which is how small businesses are concerned with cybersecurity. Taking a cue from you, Ms. Evelyn, Nigerian Association of Small Scale Industrialists is a 47-year-old organization tasked with the duty of advocating for small businesses. We are 1/5 of the OPSN, that's the Organized Private Sector of Nigeria. We basically speak for the entirety of the small scale industry part of the Nigerian private sector. And that runs into quite a couple of million businesses. As at the last count, I think Smidan was counting about 41 million businesses. And if you look around you as well, you will see that a lot of these businesses are basically the backbone of the Nigerian economy. The statistics show actually that small businesses in general constitute about 90% of the entirety of the private sector, a little over actually, but let's stick with a healthy estimate here. And also contributes over about 50% of the employment power of the private sector. And if you ask me, I would say that that's a very powerful constituency. Being in the knowledge economy, and I'm happy that we're having this conversation, having started out my own career myself in the knowledge economy some 20-something years ago. I actually started my career in ICT's advocacy, and did quite a bit of work with the likes of the ECA, Economic Commission for Africa, the ITU, International Telecoms Union. I remember when we were advocating seriously for Africa's inclusion in the World Summit on Information Society. And our biggest deal back then was inclusion, 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 and the telling of Africa's stories and the inclusion of African perspectives, and also the inclusion of Africa in the global policy-making architecture of the ICT's world. Fast forward to 20-something more years now, this is no longer our challenge. Right now, we are at the forefront of African presence on the internet. Global governance is also very much a part of what we do. However, we still have a major challenge. Now that we're no longer dealing with the issues of tele-density, which were the issues that I advocated at the beginning of my career 20-something years ago, we're no longer dealing with the issues of tele-density, inclusion. We're now dealing with the infiltration of our security architecture, and all of this happening also in cyberspace. And relating that to how small, more than 40, I think as at last count, World Bank statistics show that 49% of all cyber attacks are launched and affect small businesses worldwide. 49%. That's pretty much half. So half of all the cyber attacks that are going to be recorded will be recorded on either websites or some other web presence that have been manned by small businesses. If you also look within the space in Nigeria, you find that a lot of businesses are trying to either embrace e-commerce, go global, go digital. So we're in several different levels and phases of digital transformation, digitization. And this makes us susceptible. It is imperative to state that small businesses, especially small businesses in Africa and particularly in Nigeria, very rarely have the kind of resources that is required to mount Microsoft. And also when you come into the local and multinational space, you talk of the Mondelez, the Nestle's, the Dangotes. When they man their web presence in cyberspace, very often there is a lot of care and attention given to whatever is put out there, what you consume from them, what they also get from the public space in cyberspace. How many small businesses do you know, do you and I know, who are not only aware, but also very mindful of data privacy laws, that are even aware at all? And if you know 10 small businesses, how many of them are taking extra care to make sure that their websites, or more commonly, their e-commerce, either websites or even sometimes engage through third-party platforms like Facebook and the rest of them, how many of these businesses that are transacting daily on the internet are aware, much less mindful, much less skillful in the handling of data that they daily get? A lot of businesses basically just put information out there, their customer information sometimes, and sometimes even their business information. And many times there is not a lot of care and attention paid to what is put out there. Now, this is not, it's not deliberate, but I mean, like we say in law, the ignorance of the law is really not an excuse. And one way that I see that we can begin to take care of this is to bring the small scale industry, the MSMEs at large, in bed with the cybersecurity architecture that we have in the country. I am so glad, and honestly, a lot of applause must be given to you for organizing this and then thinking that the inclusion of small scale industries, MSMEs in general, was very pertinent. I cannot tell you how often these kinds of conversations go on, and small businesses who, like we said earlier, based on World Bank statistics, who are subject to 50% at least of the attacks that will be launched in cyberspace, are not even in them. And sometimes when they're included in these conversations, they're included as an afterthought. And, and for me, I begin to now think, and this is a theory that I propound in pretty much every engagement, every PPP engagement that I'm involved in. And I say, it's not just about the addition, it is also the sequence. Because many times we try to provide solutions for ills that we have not properly diagnosed. If half of the cyber attacks that will be launched online are launched against small businesses, how is it that we are not gathering our data pretty much expressly from small businesses themselves, and to see and be able to assess why these attacks are, one, so much, two, successful, and three, repeated, because the cycles have been perpetuated over time. If you check what the statistics are this year, you check what the statistics were last year, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, it's pretty much the same. there's very little that is going on to mitigate what the risks are so that we can now begin to reduce the number of attacks. So I say, and especially because my understanding is that this meeting is actually a precursor for the physical meeting, which is coming up in the first quarter of next year, that when we're putting these interventions together, it is not only important, it is imperative to have small businesses in the room to assess what they are doing that is making small businesses so susceptible to these attacks, and to also be able to mine raw data from many of these attacks. Businesses that I know, quite a couple of our member businesses, for example, who have been subject to attacks, sometimes customer information and sometimes financial information, biodata, business information stolen from the websites of some of these small businesses. Because many times when these small businesses establish a web presence, for example, it's the main thing on the minds of such business owners. It's just, let me establish a web business, let me transact business. And that's all they're thinking about. So they're not thinking about the dangers of cyber attacks, or the potential attacks that can be launched against them, the responsibilities that they have, the duties that they hold towards their customers, the potential reputational risk of being susceptible to those attacks, how sometimes it can end the life of a business being subject to such attacks. Sometimes some businesses never recover. So as we gear up for this meeting, I say, and this is my recommendation, and this recommendation also comes from a lot of experience, that in crafting solutions, many times we look at the occurrence of problems in silos, but we have to have a linear and horizontal view of why these businesses or why these problems occur. And we have to also look at the interacting agencies that are connected, and look at what connects them, and look at how these entities interact within an ecosystem. So within the ecosystem of cybersecurity, for example, there is governance, there is private sector, and particularly within private sector, there are small businesses, because the challenge of small businesses with cybersecurity is very different from the challenges of big businesses. So you're looking particularly at the specific, peculiar, and unique challenges of small businesses, and then also looking at auxiliary agencies, either local or international, that are involved in the crafting of these solutions. So, for example, we're looking at MDAs, we're looking at development organizations in general, and how they contribute to the solutions that we're crafting. So the solutions architects themselves are not sitting squarely within the industry. They are interacting across the value chain of that particular problem. So in cybersecurity, for example, you have the entire IT space, the industry, and then you're looking at what governance factors, what policies exist, and how those policies have been translated into the field of play. So we're looking at how all of these affect one another, because ecosystems thinking demands that we cannot solve a problem in the locality of where that problem either occurs or is generated. We have to look at the entire value chain and then craft solutions that cross barriers and also affect the entirety of the value chain. Now, I'm looking also at us being able, especially through the hackathon, being able to proliferate the cybersecurity as an industry itself. So you have now the small businesses and in the general business space in private sector that are customers, that are clients to cybersecurity professionals. and looking at some of these solutions also, that they will not be solely generated within the known structures that we have within established industry. A lot of these businesses, that is the small businesses that we're crafting these cybersecurity solutions for, are not able to, say, procure the services of a Google or huge cybersecurity companies that are the leaders in the space. Many of them, and this is something we must note also about the MSME space. The MSME space has its own life. It has its own hiring practices that is different from hiring practices within established corporate structure. Because a lot of these businesses run informally and they also run non-traditional corporate structures. They have their own life. They hire differently, they procure services differently, they also assess problems, threats differently. And so they are looking, you are looking at solutions being crafted for these industry in ways that take their particular need into cognizance.
Yes.
So the development,
Yes, ma'am. If we continue, I know we can't finish it. Just like round
No,
up.
it is a huge problem. But I'll just trying to wrap up in how it is related also into the development of the cybersecurity industry on its own. Because the more problems that we're able to solve, especially in big and wide spaces like the MSME space, then the faster the industry itself develops, and the faster the industry, the deeper the industry itself goes. So we're looking at the revolving door of the cybersecurity industry growing out of providing more and more services for the MSME space. And I'm looking forward to this hackathon because I'm particularly going to be interested in how much collaborative mechanisms are employed in the development of solutions for the development of cybersecurity as an industry, and to tackle also the problem of cybersecurity in the MSME space. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, beautiful lady. I truly appreciate. If I leave you here, I know you will not go home because everybody present here, I have about 30-something persons logged in, have small business somewhere. So it's a thing that affects each and every one of our community. Thank you so much for coming in today. I appreciate you. So I'll be bringing in Miss Patricia Eromosela. Miss Patricia Eromosela is the president of Women in Cyber Security, YCIS. And we know what women in cybersecurity is all about. When you talk about women, they will never want to be participating in it. They'll just go and take the back seat. But Ms. Patricia had decided that no more back seats for ladies. We were taking you to the front seats and you are going to be on the Hall of Fame. So I'm bringing her in today. I don't want to read much of her profile because she's an award winner with NIDA Cybersecurity Maiden Event of 2025 in June or July. I know. So if I start with her, I will not finish. So Ms. Patricia Eromosela, my president, you are welcome today.
Thank you, Madam Evelyn. You know, when someone introduces you and they are your madam, and then they tell you I'm introducing my madam, you get a little scared. Thank you so much for the introduction. Thank you, Mr. Rex, for, setting the tone. I am so excited to have listened to Professor Stella Chiamaka. You know how you admire people, as they move the IT field, especially women. I don't know her personally, but I know of her. So I really want to thank her for her keynote address. Same thing with the president of Nigerian Women in Information. And also the last speaker who just spoke, the passion with the small and medium enterprises. Nigeria is heavily moved and backed by small and medium enterprises, and cybersecurity is a huge part of our businesses online. In fact, Madam Evelyn, you talked about women in cybersecurity. I always advocate that women are part of the critical national infrastructure. You know how we list things as critical national infrastructure? I have put women there as part of the critical national infrastructure, educating women in cybersecurity, careers for women in cybersecurity, and women thriving in cybersecurity. So that I don't take up everyone's time, I am here to introduce the speakers of the next session. I'm right about this, right, Madam Evelyn? The next session, which is Architects of Trust.
Yes, ma'am.
Building a cyber-safe future for Nigeria's digital generation. So the first person I'm going to introduce is Mr. Abubakar Mahmood. He is the IT and Cybersecurity Officer at the Nigeria Data Protection Commission, NDPC. Mr. Abubakar Mahmood is an IT professional specializing in cybersecurity, data protection, and AI governance. He currently serves as an IT and cybersecurity officer at the NDPC, where he manages data system security, provides end user support, and ensures adherence to data protection laws and standards. In addition, I would also like to introduce Mr. Victor P. Idono. He is the founder of Hack 365 Global. So I'd like to welcome both of them to the next session, and I'm sure we're going to hear some very interesting things and get some key nuggets from this session. And in addition, Chineye, you were just making us salivate to be one of your one of the people that attended IFE. See how you guys are just coming together. Oh yes, this is my IFE graduate and all that. I am a co-graduate of IFE too in my own mind.
Why are you guys all
in my
here?
own mind.
I didn't know you guys were from the same place. Okay, physical event hotel. I'm going to separate all of you.
All right, everyone.
Thank you so much.
So handing over to you, Madam Evelyn.
Yes, ma'am. So we're bringing in Mahmoud Abubakar. Mahmoud, you have 10 minutes to tell us a bit of what you guys do in NDPC. Thank you.
Okay, ma, well done. Thank you. Thank you so very much. I'm the convener of Cyber Safe Futures, the Vice Chancellor, University of Delta, Professor Stella Chiemeke, the President of NIWIT, the Director of E-Government, Federal Ministry of Communications, Innovation and Digital Economy, distinguished partners from both private and the public sectors, fellow speakers and the industry experts, my colleagues from the civil service, and most importantly, the families joining us, the vibrant Nigerian youths and parents, as well as guardians who are the first line of defense in our society, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Sorry, I'm trying to share my screen so that here. All right. Thank you. Please, can everyone see my screen?
Yes, you can.
Okay, all right. Yes. Sorry. Okay. So I'm honored to connect with you virtually today, representing the Nigeria Data Protection Commission, NDPC. I bring you warm regards from the National Commissioner CEO, Dr. Vincent Olatunji. His mandate is clear, actually, to ensure that Nigeria accelerates into the digital age. We don't kind of, as we are accelerating to the digital age, so we do not leave our society or our safety and the privacy behind. And I'm seeking for your kind audience as I present to you the topic titled Architects of Trust, Building a Cyber-Safe Future for Nigeria's Digital Generation. The term Cyber-Safe Futures is not actually just a slogan. It is a call to arms for every generation today. And I would like to speak to you as architects of trust, whether you are a young coder building the next pickup or a parenting, or maybe a parent navigating a WhatsApp group, you are an architect. You are building the structure in which our digital future will reside. So to the next slide, to understand why we are here, let me paint a scenario you might recognize. Imagine a young man named, for instance, ABC, his name, in Yaba, here in Nigeria. ABC is like kind of a brilliant boy or maybe a brilliant young man. He wants to download a new coding tool to help with his project. So as such, he finds a cracked version on a free site, like the free website where you can get access to some programmable tools or coding tools that can help you. So he clicks download. At the same time, his mother, Mrs. XYZ, receives a text message stating that your NIN needs an update. Click here to verify or your line will be bad. Panic sets in. She clicks. So in seconds, you see ABC has introduced malware into his laptop, compromising his hard work. And then Mrs. XYZ also has just handed over her banking details to a phishing site. You see, this is the reality we face actually in Nigeria nowadays. The cyber safe future we want prevents both ABC's loss of intellectual property and then Mrs. XYZ's financial loss. It is about moving from vulnerability to vigilance. That was why the federal government, under the renewed hope agenda, recognizes way to safety. We must skill our way there. This is why the Federal Ministry of Communications, Innovation and the Digital Economy, led by the Honorable Minister, Dr. Bosun Tijani, is really focused on digital trust. At NDPC, we are implementing the Nigeria Data Protection Strategic Roadmap and the Action Plan, NDP SRAP 2023 to 2027. That's for the period of 4 years. And then this is the first version of our strategic roadmap and the action plan being documented and then being escalated to the ecosystem and then the stakeholders also. So as such, part of the NDP SRAP, so let me point out like a particular situation. Like for instance, hello, please, am I audible? Because my connection is not stable actually. Hello?
Yes, you are audible. We can hear you.
All right, thank you. All right, thank you. So you see, you hear about Japa. Like for instance, people living in the country for opportunities. But let me tell you about Japa with skills. Under the human capital development pillar of our roadmap, we are implementing over 500,000 jobs in data protection ecosystem. Companies in Nigeria now need data protection officers. That's the DPOs. Then they need them. Then also they need them for the purpose of like auditing. They need auditors. They need ethical hackers. These are not just jobs. They are careers that pay well and command respect globally. Instead of using smarts for internet fraud, which in Nigeria and other neighboring nations and even
It's network issue. We're so sorry. I'm sure I'll be back. Fine.
It's like a coin.
Okay, we have to go on to the next session. So I'll be introducing another iconic person. His name is Mr. Samin Amadin. Mr. Samin Amadin was one of our directors in Economic and Financial Crime Commission. Right now, he's retired and he functioned in the media department. He'll be introducing the two next speakers. So I'll be handing over to him right now.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Okay. Can you hear him?
Hello.
Yes, we can. We can hear him.
Okay.
Yes, we can.
All right. I'm bringing on board two personalities, Dr. Mukhtar Bello and Dr. Emmanuel Ukoy. Dr. Mukhtar Bello is a cybersecurity expert, and his topic will be countering violent extremism and terrorism using open source intelligence, OSINT. While Dr. Emmanuel Ukoy will speak on the rise of AI-powered malware, how hackers weaponize Grok and Claude for autonomous cyber attacks. These are the topics they're going to speak on.
Thank you.
Can we have Dr. Mukhtar, please? Dr. Mukhtar Bello. The floor is yours now. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good morning, my Oga, Mr. Samin. It's good to see you again.
Thank you very much.
I will be presenting a topic on countering violent extremism and terrorism using open source intelligence. And this is based on my experience having worked with the UNODC program on that particular topic. So before I start, just a bit of quick introduction about myself.
Come back in it.
I've worked for over 20 years now in the law enforcement academia. I lecture also part-time in the UK and Nigeria in cybersecurity and cybercrime investigation. And what really informed my topic for today was my engagement with the UNODC, because we had huge problem of terrorism, especially in the Northeast. So we're trying to create criminal justice response to tackling terrorism and violent extremism. And when we got to the Northeast, we realized that there was so much evidence, but we couldn't get conviction based on material evidence. So we had to create a curriculum. And my engagement with the armed forces, police, TSS, and also lawyers was to give them the capacity, the training to be able to use technology, especially open source technology, to investigate, to gather intelligence, and most especially to prevent such occurrence of terrorism and violent extremism. Having said that, in a global context, cybercrime is going to cost globally the world economy $23 trillion by next 2 years. And currently, according to the Global Terrorism Index, Nigeria is the 6th most terrorized country in the world. And I've had previous speakers, especially the gentleman from Data Protection Commission, mentioning about creating opportunities for Nigerians to be data protection officers. Currently, worldwide, we have about 85 million shortages of cyber. And I have seen the trajectory, the connection between crime and technology. And we're beginning to see quite a number of generative AI phishing attack. A lot of pictures are being changed, altered. We've seen JAM come out very strongly to say that a lot of people are using AI technology to be able to register for exams and also bypass biometric systems. And within a global context, I think it's very important that we lay this foundation. Globally, population is increasing about 8 billion. And out of that 8 billion, we have a digital presence of about 5 billion. And one thing about global context vis-a-vis Nigerian context is that the UN and did a research that by 2050, which is going to be 25 years from now, that Nigeria will be the third most populated country in the world after India and China. And looking at it from a fundamental point of view, social media is playing an active role in communication. It's changing the way we interact with each other. Currently, globally, Facebook has an active monthly user base of more than 3 billion. Every month, 3 billion people access Facebook. Ladies and gentlemen, that's more than the population of India and China put together. And that makes, Facebook the most populated country in the world, if we might see it from that point of view. And China is not on Facebook. China uses WeChat. And who is the president of Meta. So there's a likelihood that Zuckerberg, on a lighter note, is the president of the world, because he seems to have a good idea on who is online or not. And we've seen technology has kind of evolved. We're moving to a more decentralized, sovereign, you having control over your data. We've seen under the Data Protection Act, you have a right to be forgotten. You can wake up any day and, say whoever is holding your data should actually forget about it. And the reason for that is that they believe that the next phase, which is Web 4.0, 5.0, is that emerging technology will play a fundamental role, especially AI and machine learning. We're beginning to see these technologies changing a lot of trajectories. I'm looking at it from a criminal and investigative point of view. And because of that, these technologies are still emerging. I can assure you, while lecturing in the UK here, it's just of recent, most universities are kind of creating AI governance framework. Even some of the public sector organizations are grappling with how this technology is gradually changing. And that really informed when I did my PhD a while back and finished it in 2017. I was looking at cybercrime investigation timeline, and I was trying to find out where we're headed. I had to go back, look at the technology. And one of the things that really amazed me was when the telecommunication sector was privatized in 2000, we had less than 200,000 connected lines in Nigeria. Currently, we have close to 200 million connected lines in Nigeria. So as from a law enforcement perspective or from a more development aspect perspective, you know that technology is changing. And as technology is changing, so do criminals. Cyber criminals are what you call the Al Capones and Escobars of the underworld. They're sophisticated, they're organized, and most importantly, they're a menace to society. And we've seen crime has continued to change, sextortion, using people's naked pictures. We've seen online sexual exploitation of children. We've seen AI creating very horrid pictures of children. We've seen cyber terrorism being committed, modern day slavery, kidnapping for ransom. And all these things have digital footprints. And this digital footprint brings me to the topic: what is terrorism? Ability to intimidate, fear, create threats, ideology. I mean, in a lot of countries, just sharing a viral video could be a form of cyber terrorism. So it's very important that we look at terrorism from a context of law rather than from the context of normative changes or social values we hold there in a particular country. And looking at the legal frameworks, which really we don't have much time to go into them, the Terrorism Act, the Cybercrime Act, plays a form of a nexus between technology, law, and also there's a saying that crime goes at the speed of light, and laws move at the speed of time, which is really laws playing a bit of a catch-up. And because of that, terrorism investigation is very key. Extremism, crime, criminality, mobile network operators, ISPs have the mandate by the NCC Act to make sure that the core detail records are preserved. The Cybercrime Act is very adamant that it should be kept for 2 years, because you need these digital footprints to be able to kind of create a historical perspective of where the criminal was, who he's talking to. These are very, very important. The Office of National Security Advisor plays a critical role. You know, the EFCC handles terrorism prevention, and most of you are aware that most terrorism cases is life imprisonment. Or sometimes, if it's a capital offense involved, there are also issues of punitive damages and other criminal indictment, or looking at who are the sponsors of those particular terrorists. So everybody plays a key role. The key stakeholders work within an ecosystem, within the legal framework, within the criminal justice framework. And just to bring to our mind that social media has become a tool for crime and terrorism. Social media, ISIS was able to recruit over, 70,000 fighters from 200 countries without stepping a foot in any of these countries. Propaganda, recruitment, online influence, intimidation, all these are being done. You've seen a lot of Nigerians that have gotten into trouble by making videos and posting online of threats, intimidation. And these videos have been used in court to convict them, of committing such crimes. So voice notes, videos, how do you detect that it's authentic? That is the challenge for law enforcement. You need technology to be able to do that. And looking at it from a historical point of view, what have we learned from a lot of these modes of operations? We've seen Louis Bin, white supremacist that has used flyers to intimidate. We've seen Abaka Shekau, Bello Turji of recent, Nnamdi Kanu was convicted of some of the things he have said over the media. So if what we say or what we tell people to do could be used against us, then that is a particular good tool to be used. However, we're creatures of habit. So Charles Darwin is very clear that it's not the strongest of the species that survive, not the most intelligent that survive. It's the one most adaptable to change. Criminals are adaptable to change. They're embracing technology faster than law enforcement and people are. They know the weaknesses. They know how to use social engineering to get that information. I mean, there was a landmark decision in Israel of some years back of cyber rape. Yes, I said cyber rape. Rape could be committed using the cyberspace. And this is very important. I have 3 more slides. I'll round up the presentation now, if I may. Then AI is playing a trajectory, also trifecta of AI, the good, the bad, and the ugly of AI. Forensics is playing a key role. Whatever we do online, there's a digital footprint, and Lockhart's exchange principle is very, very applicable to this particular age. Digital evidence plays a very important role. You need to know what to collect, how to collect, what to examine. Very, very important. You have cases whereby phones are limitations to investigations, but above all, open source technology plays a key role. You can get information, they can also get your information. And to round up this presentation, the way forward, futuristic police to prevent, predict, and also use science-based. And most importantly, as a law enforcement officer, I like to end with this, the ABCs of investigation. Assume nothing, believe nothing, and check everything. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Doctor. I appreciate you. I'm so sorry I had to hurry you up. There's going to be another meeting very soon on this platform. So that's why we're trying to catch up with 1:45. Please, thanks, participants. I really appreciate all of you for continuing to be around. We will soon round up. At the moment, I put up one document on the chat. So it's a survey form so that you can tell us what you feel about this event and your impression. And anywhere we need to change, we are actually ready to make changes in the next one, make it better. In the physical event, you're going to have a full-blown presentations from each and every one of them. You can see their slides. They are awesome and they are full of information. These are raw data and they are real. Thank you. So we'll be bringing in Dr. Emmanuel Okoy. Can you come in now to give us your presentation? So we need you to do 10 minutes. 10 minutes.
5 minutes. All right, that's good. Thank you very much. I'll be speedily discussing on this paper. I'm working on it. It's an extract that I've taken to cognizance to share with us on the rise of AI-powered malware, how hackers weaponize Greg and Claude for autonomous cyber attack. And then I will be demonstrating speedily because of time on how these activities are function to using the Claude of autonomous cyber attack. And speedily, let me talk about the extract. The rapid advancement of large language models has transformed artificial intelligence from supportive technology into autonomous decision-making system. While this this particular model we are discussing here is a substantial benefit across domains, and I'm going to be demonstrating that speedily. And they have also introduced unprecedented security risks in the cost of this. And this paper examines the emergency of AI-powered malware, focusing on how advanced large model language, such as the Grok and the Claude, meaning the enterprise, which, of course, recently from here, before I will talk about the overview, you can see last month, November, it was reported that the Chinese hackers used an enterprise Claude AI to automate cyber attacks against around 30 global organizations. It's a very serious concern. While we are using AI tools, others are using it for a different motion, making a significant development in AI-driven cyber espionage. This incident considered the first documented case of a large-scale cyber attack executed by dominantly by AI, with minimum human intervention involved in the cyber attack. Now, let me speedily talk about the overview research. This research investigates the emergency of AI-powered malware and the mechanism by which advanced large language model, notable Grok and Claude, as a representative state-of-the-art system, is used as a weaponized tool to conduct autonomous cyber attack. And how does it happen? That is the question I'm going to answer right away. And the papers are available. You will possibly take some time to go through it after now. But let me talk about the study and the structure of this paper. The centralized pillar is mostly on conceptual evolution of malware. Number 2, technical architecture and weaponization. Number 3, threat modeling and practical scenario. I'm going to use a tool I also contributed to create called AMAS, using a metric attack and steady framework. And this, I'm going to demonstrate this right away because of time to launch my particular operational terminal. I'm going to share my screen with you soon again, because this aspect of demonstration requires a bit of you. Hold on. So I shared this, and I'm going to demonstrate this, how the system possibly works with the modeling and practical scenario of matrix attack, which framework is systematically for mapping behavioral models in domains names, subdomains, IP addresses that are running on a pipeline data infrastructure. The defense implication also is not very, very important, but for the purpose of time, I'm going to do this. I have a permission to run this operation from MTN. I have this permission as one of their pen testers, also to use this platform to demonstrate. So basically, how do we know that AI can be used as a tool to power autonomous weaponizing hacks? First, I would like to demonstrate this by first and foremost looking for the right tool on my system. And this already, I'll be calling for the tool itself. And this is the tool. I have other tools here, but I want to use the one that I could get more data as an up for this particular operation. This particular tool is an AI tool as well used for weaponizing hacks and logs on different domains. And mostly, sometimes it will also relieve you of the administrative logins. At this point, I'm going to write this code array first to enumerate, because there are 4 and 5 stages in hacking. We have the first stage, which is your recognizance, information gathering, and under information gathering or recognizance, we have 2 types of recognizance. And I believe every one of us perhaps know that we have the passive and the active recognizance. This particular operation I want to carry out now is only just for passive recognizance. And then if I'm prone to further a little bit, I'll be maintaining access, but I will not be exploiting. So there are permission for whatever I'm doing. So don't feel that this guy is trying to hack MTN. Actually, there is permission for this operation. So the next syntax I'm going to write is to call for the enumeration passive code, which will give me this. The network is hanging a little bit, so just wait while that comes up speedily. So I ran this, and I'll need to open the application for me to carry out my obligation. First, there are areas I will also want to deliberate upon before I proceed as a way of sharing knowledge with you. Under this defense application, implication, and future direction, this paper also proposes an AI resilient defense architecture for all organizations, not to assume that the level of cybersecurity infrastructure or architecture they have cannot be compromised. I keep advocating for zero trust principles and governance control and detect and user awareness, because from the angle of the administrator down to the end user, there are lacunas that probably would require in-depth and absolute protection. If you educate the principal person, if you educate the administrator, or if this same person is educated, educate the last person sitting on the desk, just like the ordinary secretary in the office, who perhaps may not be aware of some level of vulnerabilities currently on the system. And also probably hacking into some areas where they download applications, go to social media, also exchange PDF files may actually open room for cyber attacks. And under AI-powered malware models, we generate different weaponizing tools, which possibly may not need a whole lot of time, but just a click on it and systems will be compromised. So I go back to the paper you'll be sharing. I'll share with you, already have a whole lot of all the explanations and details, but this is just the practical aspect of my paper. So the next syntax I'm going to write here is to initiate and discover attacks that will open the IP addresses and logs that connect to different documents that are sensitive, even including the administrative dashboard. So at this point, I'm going to write this syntax up here.
Dr. Emmanuel Okoy.
Yes, madam. I'm through.
Can we get the results in the physical events, please?
Okay. Okay. So let me speedily.
Let's take this home as tutorial and assignments, so that We'll come back with the results in the physical events.
All right, all right. This may take some time, perhaps maybe 10 minutes, because the next code I wanted to write here would have openly given us a live hack. And then looking at the architecture of AI-powered malware system, you can see from the screen, let me share my screen here. Good. So you can see it generates architecture of AI, and these are some of the organization. You can see the codes are written down here, and I'm scrolling through them. Most anonymous agent loop tools can as well be opened for hacks. And the weaponizing technique requires prompt decomposition and jailbreaking kind of tools. Hackers avoid exploit malicious prompts by decomposing attacks and all that. I think I will just go to the last slide because this is a very robust paper. And then I'll be running over by saying ethical and regulatory consideration is very essential in this context. And dual user nature of large language models is a necessity. And clear all users policies is part of why the mandatory audit logging and cyber audit is very, very essential in the cost of using this AI-powered tool. And in conclusion, AI-powered malware represents a shift from malware as a tool for intelligence actors. Why? Because the evolution lowers the skill barrier for attackers, increases attack skills, and challenges existing cybersecurity models. And then it also helps us to further research on why we should explore robust AI governance scheme, ensure security agents design an architecture and algorithm that will suppress and highlight attacks that are going on their domain and their subdomain. And in conclusion, I would like to say that addressing the challenges requires the transition towards AI-assisted tools, behavioral central and governance-driven cybersecurity infrastructure. You can as well find the references of this paper as we move on through this. And then I probably will have time for one or two questions or suggestions or requests as we move on. Thank you very much.
You can drop them in the platform for us if you don't mind. Please, the survey is gone out. Fill it for us. So NDPC, please, we want you back quickly.
Okay, ma. All right.
So, Doctor, you can stop sharing so that Mahmoud can share.
Okay, can you see my screen, please?
Yes, we can. So continue from where you start.
Okay, all right. Yeah, so I'm back regarding the DPO roles and then the how lucrative the role is. So actually, you see, you can use those same skills to become a certified privacy professional who is hunted by multinationals. And then we are also catching them young at NDPC through our recent initiative, which is the Data Privacy Awareness Clubs, DPAC, in the universities. We are breeding a new generation that values privacy. And I want everyone here to mark their calendars for the upcoming National Privacy Week 2026, happening from late January to early February. That's somewhere around January 28th to probably February 4th, 2026. It will be a festival of innovation, and I challenge the youths here to have their solutions ready to showcase on that national stage. Actually, now to the participants of this hackathon, actually, when you start coding, you must build with privacy by design. You see, the Nigeria Data Protection Act 2023 is your rule book. Consider section 24 of the act, where it outlines that where it outlines the principles of data processing, that is the accountability, lawfulness, and the security. Let me give you a simple scenario. Imagine you build a fintech app that lends money. As such, you are the data controller and or processor. If your app scrapes a user's contact list, for instance, your customers, so you give like the customers, your app has access to their contact list, so it scrapes it away. That is the data subject. And then in that incident, it messages their friends to shame them for late payment or maybe like kind of in their inability to refund the funds at the stipulated time. So as such, you see at the commission, you have violated the section 24. You have breached their privacy. You are liable for this incident as the data controller or data processor. But if you build an app that kind of encrypts that data and asks for specific permission, you see you build trust by doing that. And you see trust brings users, and trust still brings investors to that particular platform. That was even the reason why at NDPC we used to frequently say that no trust, no tech. So at this juncture, I want to pivot now to the parents and the guardians on this call. You are the original architects of trust in our society. You see, in our culture, we protect our children from physical harm. We tell them not to talk to strangers on the street, but we watch who they talk to in the lobbies of online games, just like the PlayStation and many more. This is just a simple question, actually, to portray how you see details are posed to some kind of risks and negative thoughts at the online environment. So Section 31 of the NDPA Act is specifically for you. It mandates that data controllers must obtain parental consent for any child under the age of 18 years. Now the sharing trap, like a particular scenario, for instance, as you can see the picture of this woman with her girl, with her child actually. Let me give you a common scenario by seeing this picture. Imagine it's a back to school season. You are proud as a parent or maybe as a proud mother. You snap a picture of your child in their full uniform with the school logo clearly visible. You post it on Facebook or Instagram with the caption, "My baby Tunde, primary 4B at Bright Stars Academy, Lekki, is growing so fast." End of quotation. So for instance, as you are posting this, now let's analyze the risks or maybe the risk. You see, you have just given a kidnapper or maybe a cyber stalker your child's name, her face, exact location, and the class, like just the entire profile as the case may be, like for him to attack her. So you see, you have breached your own child's physical safety through a data privacy error. Then the solution, being cyber safe to this scenario of this child online protection, you see, is kind of blurring that batch, even if it is like kind of necessary for you to post her picture stating the progress of her class, the school, and all. You see, there are children that are even yet to decide regarding their privacy. So it's highly commendable for parents actually to be like kind of blurring their faces, even on the family pictures, or maybe like kind of avoiding their presence on the online platform, so that even the algorithms won't be predicting their life, because already they have stored their data while they were growing up. So to avoid such incidents, so you can just kind of sideline the presence of your ward or your child to the online platform. And maybe as time goes on, when he or she grew up, so he can just decide on the future of his privacy. So you see, you cannot outsource this parenting duty to the government or the school alone. It starts at the dining table, because the internet still has no borders. Regarding our regional leadership and collaboration, is that you see, our defense must be global, seeing the internet has no borders. Nigeria is a key player in the Africa Task Force for Child Online Protection, ATCO. We are working with the UNICEF and the International Telecommunication Union
Okay,
to ensure that.
so let's try winding up so that someone else
Pardon?
can just finish up.
Yeah, sure, no problem. I'm just arriving. I'm just approaching the conclusive slide. So we are working with the UNICEF and the ITU to ensure that the African child is not a testing ground for harmful algorithms. By participating in this event, actually, you are aligning with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, specifically Goal 16, helping to build strong institutions and the peace. Conclusively, a cyber safe future is a partnership. So now I have a simple 3 messages to 3 entities. For the first one, to the youth, use your skills to build firewalls, not to break them, please. Then still also the second one, to the parents, be the firewall for your home, monitor, guide, and protect, please. Then the last one, which is to the developers, our friends, is that please be coding with conscious all the times. Consider the rule book, consider the other regulations regarding that particular platform that you are deploying. The NDPC is actually here to support you. My name is Abakar Mahmoud, and I invite you to join us in making Nigeria a capital of digital trust in Africa. Thank you sincerely for audience, and God bless this nation. And then I have a quick stress test before I leave. So sorry for that. I want to see who the real privacy champions are on this platform. I'm going to ask 3 simple questions. If you are guilty of the offense, you must lower your hand, your virtual hands. So let's see who is left standing. But the first one is the password sin. Keep your hand up if you are using a unique password for your email, please. And then still, if you are not using, the consequences. You see, if you are using unique passwords for each of your platforms, is that if the bad guys have access to any of your account. When I say account, I don't mean other. Sorry, I've seen that the organizer is raising her hands. No problem. Let me just go straight to the 2FA authentication. Keep your hand up, please, if you are having 2-factor authentication enabled on your WhatsApp and social media. If you don't have the extra code, put your hand down. And then lastly, to the I agree line. This is the hardest one actually. In the last one, did you download an app and you click and I agree to the terms and conditions without ever reading the first paragraph? If you clicked it blindly, so please, you see, that's what we are preaching about at the commission. I thank you all. Thank you so very much.
Let our next presenter please come in quickly. Is Victor P. Dono. As he's trying to share his screen, I'll just tell you brief about the first person that opened this event. His name is Hanel Hamisu Jafaru. Hamisu is a certified professional in AI security. Victor, please start sharing your screen, please, in AI security and governance. Hanel is a distinguished cybersecurity professional, a tech policy expert, and a researcher in emerging technologies and crime, with almost 2 decades of illustrious experience. He's the managing director of Ham Network Limited and the founder of HTC Academy, a prestigious tech career-focused training academy. He's also the convener of Tech Symposium Africa and the Tech Trinity Conference. He was the guy that opened the event. His name is Hanel Hamisu Jafar. So our presenter right now is Victor Fikparobo Idono. I've never seen that name before. I'm sorry. I hope I didn't murder it. Victor is a very amiable guy. He's a highly accomplished cybersecurity professional with over a decade of experience and achievements. So he's going to briefly tell us about his automation and autonomy involving cyber defenses within a short time, because he's part of the organizing committee. So he's not going to take all your time. So we'll be out of this place in the next 2 to 3 minutes. Thank you.
All right, thank you everyone for your time and thank you for joining the session. And of course, as other speakers have spoken, we're preparing for the physical event coming up in 2026, at least within the first quarter. My name is Victor Piparubo Idono, and I'll quickly take us through automation and autonomy. As much as possible, I'm going to go through the slides in such a way that our time will be utilized efficiently. So moving forward straight to what we have for the day. This is just a brief profile about myself, the founder at Hack 365 Global Upgraded Era Solutions Limited, SciTech Academy, an online platform for digital skills, cybersecurity challenge Nigeria, that is SciSec NG, and SciSec Institute of Management and Technology. Yes. So first of all, let's look at the statistics. Briefly, 81% of cybersecurity teams globally regard AI-driven automation as strategic priority for their cyber defenses. And this is going to be happening majorly, more visibly in the next 3 to 5 years. And this is coming from Business Wire. Then 67% of organizations globally now use AI-based cybersecurity tools. I believe we all are conversant with this as it's beginning to even creep into the Nigerian tech community and cybersecurity space. 61% of cybersecurity professionals plan to adopt AI and machine learning technologies for security operations within the next year. And this is very, very visible. We'll all agree that the likes of graphics design, audio, voiceover, and all of that, speech writing, transcription, they are now being taken over by automation. Yes, so deployment of security, AI, and automation across security operations centers have reached about 2 in 3 organizations in the year 2024 alone. And of course, 2025 is closing and we're moving into 2026. So what is automation? Automation is doing things right, while autonomy is doing the right thing instantly. How are you able to do the right thing instantly? We are all conversant with artificial intelligence coming into even our WhatsApp environment. We now send messages, to respond to messages, get messages, definitions, or quick search using our Meta AI, ChatGPT, and Co. Even better and easier than going through the likes of Google. So from human speed to machine speed, that is what everybody across every sector is now looking towards. Automation follows predefined rules. It's powerful for executing non-repetitive tasks, while autonomy makes decisions in unforeseen situations. Very, very feasible and efficient. So automation defenses beat offenses. We all agree that our current state relies on static rules and human analysis, struggling to keep pace with volume and sophistication of modern threats. As the threat is evolving, the attack thresholds and areas are actually also increasing. And to that is way beyond human capacity to actually monitor every aspect of these areas, and that is why we are bringing in automation. Attackers are now beginning to become more offensive. Hackers are already using AI to rewrite malware on the fly, on the go, and they are creating a lot of polymorphic threats that evade traditional detection. So if they are deploying AI for launching attacks, it is only saying for us to also begin to deploy AI in our defenses. So we are simply fighting dynamic AI with static checklist that is losing strategy. And that is where the automation and defenses come into the picture. So the concept is simple. The goal is not just a cyber-safe future, but a self-repairing one. That is, no matter how complex, no matter how voluminous the threats are, our systems you're deploying in across every aspect of our lives should be able to self-repair themselves. That is, they should be able to fix themselves, which is leading us to the core evolution, moving beyond prevention to cyber resilient. We are not just preventing any longer, we are now becoming proactive and being cyber resilient. Autonomous actions, systems that can detect anomalous behavior, isolate affected components, and also reconfigure themselves to maintain operational integrity without human intervention is now key and the right way to go. So for every one of us, for an event like this, if you are in your organization, you should look beyond manual means of doing things to now automating your processes. And these days, there are ways and tools available that are easily, readily available for deploy right away. So autonomy does not remove the human factor. Please, let's take note of that. It elevates the human part of it. There's this thing that AI will take away our jobs. No, the truth is those utilizing AI will take away the jobs of those not using AI. So traditional SOC analysts, you can move the bar up to a section where they become strategic pilots using automation. So trust and digital sovereignty, with this regard, an autonomous defense system is like a black box. If we don't build it or understand it, we cannot trust it. So as much as possible, we should be able to build, test, retest, and get results, checkmate those results with human factor, then we're able to make a decision, an imperative decision that is viable and considered efficient. So the future state is simple. The future belongs to the rapid, that is every one of us taking action. We being in this event at this time, we are simply taking action with regards to cyber future. So as much as possible, we must train for the war of algorithms today. Whether we like it or yes, the earlier we start deploying and keying into these infrastructures and services, the earlier the better for us. So the future is autonomous, the war of algorithms, and of course, at our 365 global mission, we have something with regards to that. So with this, I believe we just to not take too much of our time, that's why I quickly run through it. And it's just for us to understand that in everything we are doing, being it learning, be it trying to safeguard our data, we must begin to start thinking of automation. And that is why, as the name of this event, Cyber Future entails, we should start thinking about the future of everything that relates to cybersecurity around us. It could be at home, it could be at work, it could be at the national level, at whatever level. Thank you all.
So that was Mr. Victor Idono, P. We are the organizers of this event. We're in the LOC, 3 of us, me, Victor, and Hanel, joining the secretariat team, the directors of the KISA NGO. So we deeply want to say thank you for the time. You know, now everybody's adding something to that critical infrastructure. So we are adding time today to critical infrastructure. So I really appreciate your time today. And we look forward to seeing you in the next event next year. And I know that we are all going to come back with 2 or 3 more persons coming to listen to this, because it's the action plan. We are already, like what Victor said, we being here means that we are taking part, we're taking action already. So if you have questions, email us. On the flyer, you've seen names on the flyer. So you have Jude Aibogun, you have Kido Mohanye, and you have Chizarom Ndulele. So you can send them messages, you can text them, WhatsApp them, email them, so that we get all your questions together and send it to you back as a whole. I really appreciate everyone. Thank you. Compliment of the season, and have a good holiday. Make sure you eat your rice and chicken. And remember mine by January. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So is it possible to take a picture? Let us show some of our screens so that I'll take a picture. I don't know how to do it. Can someone help me? What do I do?
All right, no worries. It's just to take a screenshot, everybody, and with your videos, and we can take it out from there.
Okay, so what do we do it? How do we do it? Can you do it for us?
Maybe a wave of hand or something, so it doesn't look like we are too static. Okay. So are we ready?
Yes.
All right, so I'm taking a screenshot now.
How come?
Yep.
You're done?
Yes, taken.
Thank you. Appreciate you all. Thank you, and bye for now.
Bye-bye.
There's another meeting
Bye,
coming
everyone.
in the next 2 minutes.
Good to see you all. Bye.
Yes. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, bye, everyone.
Bye, bye.
Ade. All the Ife people. Mama, thank you so much for your support. Iconic ladies, up 9 weeks. Let me join for the next meeting. All right. Left.